So we've done a whole episode on the whole muscle curing with dry salts.
Right.
I don't know if we've actually covered brining yet.
Not really.
Do you want to right now? Can we go do a little flyby review or?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, I think that so either one of those can be used for meat that you intend to smoke.
Yeah.
Brining, which is basically salt dissolved in water and then cooled and then meat submerged therein for X amount of days and then pulled out and smoked. So you can use brining or dry salting, which we talked about, applying dry salt to the surface of meat and then smoking it after it's done. After the salt has done its job of curing. Mm-hmm. Before you put either of those in the smoker, though, they do need to be dry on the exterior.
Yes.
And to achieve that, you just need to hang it in a dryish place.
Mm-hmm.
So, usually the salting or the brining happens under refrigeration, which is a rodent-free environment, and controlled temperature, which is very nice. You take it out of the brine or out of the salt. You can rinse off the dry salted meat if there's any salt rocks left there and dry it off with towels. It's also a good idea even to do that with brined meat, to give it a tepid water rinse just real quick with the sink, because then all of the salt is concentrated on the exterior of the meat. And as you dry it out in the smoker, there's a chance that you could get salt rusting or scabbing,
right,
where the surface salt just on the surface of the meat accumulates into a super hard inedible salty crust. And to mitigate that, you can rinse even brined meat in tepid water and just kind of rub it and scrub it and rinse it and then dry it. And then you want to hang them both in a place where they are likely to dry on the surface of the meat. And so it's not like a thorough drying. It's just so the meat isn't glistening and dripping. You want to get beyond that point. Mm-hmm. They call it a pellicle, which is like, I don't know why we have to give it silly names. It's probably a real name, but where you look at the surface and you touch it, and it's not slippery, slick, and moist and glistening, That usually only takes a couple days of hanging, either of brined or of dry cured meat.
Or you steal your wife's dehumidifier that lives in her bathroom where she bathes all her children, because
right,
the bathroom is constantly soaking. And so to deter rottage and spoilage of our bathroom timbers, try to keep a dehumidifier in there. But you could just steal it and put it in your butcher shop.
Right.
And that'll work.
Yes.
And that'll dehumidify things enough.
So get yourself a dehumidifier, and then you can, like I hang the meat on this rail. Can't quite see it in the camera, but right above us there's a meat rail. I hang it up there, and then there it is, right on that rail. And then I put the dehumidifier right below it, and it's blowing dryish air on that meat. And in one night, I can get a nice dry surface on all the meat, and then boom, in the smoker the very next day. So that's kind of nice.
It speeds it up.
Yeah, and you really want that dry surface on the meat before you put it in the smoker, because if it's wet and drippy in the smoker, it will attract the Stygian bitterness of the smoke, the acrid, gross, creosote-like, non-tasty stuff from the smoke. And it'll be slick and greased, almost like it's been, actually it will have creosote on it. It's almost like someone took a piece of charcoal and dipped it in water and rubbed it all over the meat. It's kind of gross. So you don't want that. It's bitter, it's acrid. And that will happen if there's droplets still hanging onto the meat. So you want to really get it dry and then put it in the smoker. And rather than the Stygian bitterness, you will have the nutty, sweet contribution of smoke, which lowers the pH of the meat, by the way, and has antibacterial effect on the outside and dries it out. So it is all and antifungal. So it's all directly preservative. It's all really good preservative stuff.